Hello, welcome back to BlenderSushi live noding. In this video, we're gonna explore these Blender extra objects. You know that Blender actually comes with some extra objects that you can access if you go to user preferences and then you type in extra objects. You can enable this add curve extra objects and add mesh extra objects. So yeah, that's I think most Blender artists know this, and that gives you the ability to create like a curve, extra curve objects and extra mesh objects. I think I've shown you the extra mesh, but I rarely use the curve one. But curve also have quite a lot. Like I'm especially interested with this thing like flower, star, cogwheel, splat. Splat is even really interesting if I try to make the splat, and then that's the default they give. And of course with extra objects it has this all kind of options to it that you can play around. But the problem I always found with the extra objects that this guy is not live. It's like a once-off things, once-off operations. Once you create it, you cannot really do much about it, and you can create another curve, of course, create another splat, and then change the setting, and then randomize the seed, and then maybe save it as a preset. But then again, that's another just once-off creations. So I was talking about this with Sverchok Developer Zeffi, and then we had these long conversations, and apparently we could actually kind of accessing this extra curve objects using Sverchok. It's kind of it's not really a hack, but it's kind of really clever that I just found out about this. So it's like a kind of like something like a new things being unlocked. So for example, actually, first of all, Zeffi asked me to check the script anyway. So I dig into the Blender add-ons, and then I actually go to the folder under Applications, Blender 278A. This is under Mac, and then inside here you can go into add-ons and find this add curve extra objects, and we can have a look at the source code for that add-on. And this is the source code. Okay, it's add curvaceous galore.py, and this is the author is Jimmy Haze for it, and he made all this script that allows you to create the extra curve objects, for example. And we have quite a lot. We have the flower curve, and then we have, of course, the arc curve, and then we have cog curve to create a cog. Splat curve. This is the code for the splat curve. Okay, and apparently this is you can easily port this into Sverchok. And at first I tried it with I tried it using script node in Sverchok. I'll actually hide this first. I'm gonna delete this, and then remember the script node. And script node comes with a bunch of examples as well, including this petal sign, and then you can just load it, and then it's gonna create this node, and then you can use fewer draw, and then you can draw objects like that. And it's a live node, and this script node, of course, is reading this script that's created by the developer as example. And actually what I did, I look at this script and then kind of make a modifications, just changing the input parameters, and then the output is actually the same. The output is just the points like this. So I'll look at it, and then hey, apparently, let's say the Splatter Curve. I look at this source code of the add-on, the extra objects, extra curve add-on. Of course, we will find these functions, and this function is actually returning points, and just like all these other functions, it's actually outputting points that we can use inside things like this script node. So what I did, I just changed the parameter and then assigning the functions and outputting the points, and we get something like this. So Splatter Curve, this is just the Splatter Curve functions, and I load it, and it's gonna outputting vertices, and we get the splat. We basically just create like a Splatter Curve generator. This is really cool, right? Because it's kind of like a, it's normally it's not possible to do this, but now you can kind of do this, like you can make like a variations of this guy quite easily. So I'll try something. So we get the points. This is like the output is going to be a polygon, but we can of course output a curve if we use things like polyline viewer. So this guy is going to output like a curve like that. We can close it and we can turn it into B-spline so it's smooth. What this guy doesn't do at the moment is it doesn't give options to change it to 2D and then flat like that. Okay, but I'm requesting to Sverchok Developer, maybe they can help with this so we can have this kind of options. That way we can sort of easily make a lot of this curve. You know, this is the Splatter Curve. If I'm not wrong, we can actually kind of randomize this. I'll show it to you real quick. So with this guy and the UV connections, we know that we can output this kind of shapes, like polygon shapes based on the points. With the preview here, I'll have to turn on the end-gon tessellations to get the right result. So with the splat, of course, we have like the basis of the splat. There are a few options with the basis. We can control the radius. The seed is of course very interesting, and then there's a scale option here in the side. We can create a bunch of this guy, maybe by using the matrix in. I'll use line for now. Let's plug into locations. Now we can have a bunch of these shapes, and of course this shape is live and you can make changes at any time. Let's say we make 5 variations of this guy. The radius, make it smaller, and we want to randomize the seed. I believe we can just plug in the random number generator and plug into the seed. Currently it's complaining. What's the error message? Let's check it out. It says get type of tuple. Aha, I know it. So currently our script doesn't accept factorization, so it won't be able to generate like a lots of variations in one go. So let's cut that for now. But we can always use these techniques that this is for if you just want to have like a random variations but you are lazy. I mean, you don't want to worry about the factorizations. You simply just plug a frame number into the seed and then just run this guy, and then just clicking on the bake. That way you get some variations. Stop it. So you got a bunch of them. They're all different. So that's one way you can approach it. Currently, I think the color is not right. Just leave it like that. So this is bunch of splats that you create if you bake a bunch of them. So this is like, it makes the creations of extra objects a lot easier. And now with this guy we can also let's see, we can also use Monnet. The Monnet thing will actually vectorize this guy, so we can have random variations in one go. Let's do that real quick. Let's cut this and make a Monnet out of this guy. Control Shift G, or wait, oh yeah, Control Shift G is the shortcut. And then now we are inside the Monnet. We will output the vertices, but this guy we want to vectorize, so all these parameters. This is really kind of interesting, you know. It's really unlocked a lot of possibilities. So now this Monnet is our Splatter Curve generators, and we can, okay, let's start with the radius. We need the radius, the scale, and the seed. Okay, this guy is gonna be the seed. It's gonna generate random seed, and then we need the sides also. It's an integer. The scale is gonna be float. So let's try that. Plug this guy in there. This matrix. The basis actually requires just an integer. Okay, now we are getting something. Split. Kind of testing the split and stuff. So now we have 5, and we can have more, of course, but if you want to have more, we need to make sure the matrix, the transform number is the same. So I'll do it like this. Let's say for the location, we're gonna use the vertices of plane, and then let's use an integer number for the plane. So let's say it's 2 by 2. Of course, we're gonna get 4. 3 by 3 get 9. But the variations need to be the total number of this guy. So let me plug that into the size. Okay, so now we have random shapes. They're all factorized. Let me check. So that's the sides. How many sides? I mean, okay, the seed number need to have more possibilities. One. So we have this guy and this guy plugged into. Oh, I need to plug that in as well. Okay, now we have like an unlimited generator for splatter objects. Yes, actually that's yeah, it's that simple. It's really we are only limited to how. Now we don't have any limit basically for all this extra curve object generator. We simply need to transfer the functions into something that's Sverchok can read, and then it can generate all this kind of coolness for us. So we can, if you want to have like a 100 variations, you can do that as well. 10 by 10 variations. So all these splatter curves are different. They are currently just polygons, but you can easily turn that into curve. There's one thing that currently doesn't work. It's when we use the polygon instead of edges, it doesn't generate it properly. Maybe there's like a little bit of something that needs to be tweaked. I still have this conversation with a Sverchok developer. I think we might need to do something here with the UV connections, or yeah. Currently it seems to be hanging there. Maybe it's calculating. Gonna restart it real quick. So there are like quite a few functions in just this guy alone, and apparently this add curve facials galore is something you can also load using Python. You will see another thing. I'll show you real quick. So this is working. This is fine. Let's reduce the number for now. Maybe 4 by 4. So just leave that for now. This is it's working with the Monnet, so that's cool. One thing I want to show you is I'll create another Sverchok node 3. There is a new script node in Sverchok. It's called scripted node Lite, or SNL for short. And this guy is useful if you have like a quick Python script you want to use without having to use a kind of Python, not kind of Sverchok language. So this is much simpler. I have this example given by Zeffi, SNL flower curve, and a flower curve script looks something like this. In petal in, so this is gonna be the input parameters. This is gonna be the output parameters. The output is gonna be points, and this is the cool part. Apparently we can just load the script, add curve extra objects from here. So import the functions, flower curve, and then here we just use the functions. And Zeffi made this into factorizable code, but it actually can be much simpler than this. I'll show you my one. So this is my attempt to make the cog curve, and as you see, this is a single line that will load our extra curve object script, which is this guy. This guy is already like built in Blender, so you just load that script, and then you tell Sverchok, okay, the points you have to generate is using this function cog curve to create a cog, and then just generate the points based on that. So this is what you get. You get a node, and then you can of course output mk, no, oh, actually viewer draw, and the points can go to the vertices, and you get like the cog, the gear. Let's see. So yeah, this is just the points. The points itself not too useful, but normally we can just use UV connection, and we get that. With the sometimes you get this preview error. You just need to turn on the, where is it? In the viewer draw, just turn on N-GON's tessellation. Okay, so now that our extra curve is a node, you can easily change this. You can actually, if you want multiple of this guy, you can do that. You know, you can do it like this, and then for the next one, you just give it a transform, place it somewhere else. Vector in. See, that's a second gear. If you want it as a live node that you can change at any time, you can do that. So change the inner radius. By having this ability, you actually you kind of you no longer need to do this Shift A and then curve and then curve profile, and you don't need to do all that. That's like an extra time you spend to generate all this, and you can simply load any of this function actually. That's the cog. Zeffi made the flower. If you want to use other stuff, maybe let me find one. Let's say the Hellix curve. I have not tried this, but it should. It's returning new points as well. So this is how I generate it. So this is creating Hellix curve. I'm gonna create a new script. This is gonna be blank. So we're gonna have to create all these parameters first of all. Paste it. Oh, sorry. So this, copy, paste. This is Hellix, SN Hellix, Hellix Lite. Just call it like that. For the Hellix curve, first of all, we need this line as well. Before I forgot, from add curve extra objects dot add curve versus galore, import the Hellix curve function. For Hellix curve, we will need to provide the parameters input, like number, height, start angle, all those. So I will start with a number. The defaults will be 100 in this case, and 2 is the level of read the documentation about this SN Lite and you'll figure that out. So this is going to be the height of the helix. Start angle and start angle will be 0.0 and it's going to be 360.0, and we have the width and the A and B. Okay, so we need a couple of more of these parameters. Width, A, B, B is going to be 0.0 and then A is going to be 0.0. The width is going to be 1.0. This is we always need the default value. We need to specify, okay, is this guy going to be what kind of what type of data, and then is it a single value or a vector? This is the default value, and then this is the level of what do they call it? Level of list, I guess, in the Sverchok. So once we have that, we simply be careful with this number. This is like the default number. We don't need that anymore. We just gonna delete it. Okay, now I think this script that's originally from the add curve, extra curve objects, now it's already ported to Sverchok script node. So if I clear up this scripted node Lite and then load the Hellix Lite, hopefully this will work. Seems to be giving an error, key points error. Okay, we need to output it. Still not happy. Okay, apparently I forgot the output's gonna be the points, and we need to pass in the helix curve points. Reload, and then now hopefully we have something. So we have the points, and then we have the height. Okay. Okay, now we are seeing something. It's a helix. We can play around with the A and the B. This is very interesting actually. Just found out that we can do this today. So thanks to scripted node and then scripted node Lite, this is possible. Let's make a smaller number for now. I think should be in the let me try date it. You would draw U direction and then polygon. Should be outputting the edges. Doesn't seem to like it. It should actually work. Let me check real quick using the index. So it's outputting 16 points at the moment, and then let's check the value. See 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is just like an ordered list. We can tweak the parameter here, the width, okay, start angle, end angle, the height. So that's the helix. So if we use UV connections, this should generally work. Oh, we have the points there. Let me try a BMS MK2. Please. Interesting. Doesn't seem to work. I wonder if I use a poly line viewer, it will work. See, it does work with the polyline. I don't know why. It doesn't work with the viewer draw. I mean, it doesn't work with the UV connection. Kind of curious. Where does this in? Just got. What's the message there? local variable result reference before assignment. Maybe there is some kind of clashing with the script. I don't know, but it works with a polyline viewer, so we can see the helix, start angle and angle. We can have more A and B. I think with the helix, A and B matters. More high. Maybe make this a big number. You can of course animate this. Alt A. It's animating really slowly. Turn on this line. Don't close it. Yeah, so that's a helix, of course. I thought that's really cool that you can do this just by porting the script from here into Sverchok. I haven't shown everything. There are a lot more with the curve, but yeah, maybe at some point we're gonna take a look at this again. This guy is especially interesting with the spirals and the torus knot. Of course, this gonna give you that, and then that's like a once-off thing. But once you kind of port it and translate it into script node in Sverchok, you can have it as a node, and that's I really like. And it's there's so much potential just by using that. Thanks for this extra curve, and thanks for Sverchok. This is like unbelievable, you know. Anyway, yeah, give it a try yourself. Use the script node Lite or the other script nodes. Just you need a little bit of understanding of Python, of course. It's a scripting, but something like this is fairly simple. You basically just work on a give it a parameters in and out, and then you just load the script, and then you just pass in the points from these functions to be used inside the node. And yeah, the rest of them is just either using UV connections or the Hellix thing. Yeah, so give it a go. Let's see what you can come out with. Yeah, thanks again for tuning in to BlenderSushi live noding. I guess I'll see you in the next video. Leave comments down below, and if you have feedbacks or comment any questions. Okay, thank you.